Well, good evening, everybody. It's time for the Purposeful Productivity Show. I'm Florence, I'm your host. I'm so excited to be here with you all tonight. We're wrapping up talking about the Stream Deck. We've gone through a few live streams this month about various ways to use the Stream Deck. And tonight we're going to just level up our skill just a little bit. We're going to get it a little bit higher. This series has been for the very, very beginner, getting introduced to the Stream Deck and different ways to use it to elevate your productivity. And so tonight we're going to take and introduce you to some introduction to some advanced ways to use the Stream Deck, and then set you loose and let you go have some fun with this miraculous device that I use every day. I actually use it 7 days a week. But before I do that, let's see who is out here with us and welcome. I'm so glad my friends have joined me today, and we have with us in the live tribe this evening, we have Joshua Uell saying happy Friday, live tribe. Yes, if you're in the building commenting, great. Love having you here. But if you're listening and you're not able to comment, welcome. Glad to have you here anyway, and would love your comment afterwards. And of course, the troublemaker, tech troublemaker. Now, I will tell you, he knows how to use the Stream Deck. He just is not telling everybody all his secrets. But welcome, Roy. Welcome to the show. And then we have Frank Jackson in the building with us. And as other folks join tonight, we'll just welcome him in. And we're going to get directly into the content tonight. I said that I want to get into a little bit about to elevate your use of the Stream Deck. And so the first thing I want to talk about is getting organized. One of the ways we can be really productive is to organize all of our tools so that they work and we're not looking for things we don't know and we don't know where they are. We always know where they are. We always know what we're looking at. I am a creature of habit. If something moves to a different place, it takes me a little while to adjust to where it moved to. So that organization and being used to where things are for the Stream Deck, that means making decisions about how you name your profiles and how you use the profiles, what they're set up to be used for. It also means naming your buttons and knowing what you're looking at. I'm going to show you a picture of my Stream Deck right now because I want you to see an example of what I mean by that. So this is my Stream Deck, but I'm going to go back to hit the wrong button. See, I moved something, and that's why it did that on me. So I'm going to do it a different way. Boop, get that over there. All right, let's get to the Stream Deck. So this is my demo profile, and I'll talk about profiles later. This is my demo profile. But this okay, see, I changed something tonight at the last minute. So I will do it this way. Okay. And then we're going to momentary change here because there you go. This is what my show typically looks like. I know what each of these columns mean. The color blue has a meaning to me. So across the top, I use 5 because I'm typically not going to make more than 5 key points. My waiting screen, my title screen, when it comes back to me, when I'm telling you to put a question on, this little question mark, when I press the button to welcome you to the stream. This takes me back to my home profile, the thing that looks like a little house. The one with the bubble takes me to a comment screen. Y'all know I love to mute myself, so I have a button here to unmute myself. And then I've got some additional pages. But this page that you're looking at, it's organized so that my brain has now gotten accustomed to exactly where the information is sitting on the Stream Deck and where the buttons are. That's an example of organizing. The other example of organizing is the name here. You see PP Show, Purposeful Productivity Show. I know that when I look at it, that means it's the profile, and I'm going to see the buttons for the live stream. I could name it live stream. I could name it anything, but I use that. I'll show you some of my others profiles. I've got home because I've got a home profile that takes me to other places. I've got one when I'm just doing work. I'm not streaming, I'm not recording, I'm doing productive hands-on work. I've got this demo here. Then I've got something for worship service because I use my Stream Deck when we're doing various worship services. And I've got it set up very similarly. I'll show you, but it's green because the green has meaning to me with relative to worship services. And these buttons, I'm making some changes right now, have specific meaning, so they're always there. That is a part of the organizing, deciding not only which profiles you're going to set up, but also how you're going to lay those buttons out, whether you're going to use text on the button, whether you're going to use an image on the button or an icon on the button. You see, I use a combination. Sometimes it's just words, sometimes it's an icon. Depends on what it is for me. So that is what I mean by get organized with your Stream Deck. And when you're first starting out, when I started, I wasn't this organized. And I found out very quickly there was a reason to be organized. So tip number one to level up your skill is not just get the Stream Deck and start putting buttons on it, but give a small amount of thought to organizing how you lay out your Stream Deck, specifically your profiles and where you place buttons and on the panel and how you label them. So those are important. If we got questions tonight, okay. So I got to come back before we go to the next one. Roy says he uses his Stream Deck 8 days a week. Okay. And hello, Philip. I am so much enjoying the material you're putting out. You're definitely challenging me in your content every week, and those scriptures and how you're explaining them. Fabulous. Very effective. I'm so happy for you, but I'm happy for me too because I get to listen to it and learn from you. So that is point number one. Point number two is create your own icons. The Stream Deck comes with some that you can pull in, and I've shown you that. But I would say take a little bit of time to learn to create your own, because it will be custom to the way you think and what's important to you. I shared with you that the color blue has a specific meaning to me with my I'm going different places here with my Stream Deck, and so I use this color because it means something to me on this panel. Pick a color that means something to you. The other thing that I do when I come off of this is I also shared with you, this is one of those level up things that I learned how to make my own buttons using Keynote, but you can also use Canva, you can use Adobe Express, you can use PowerPoint. Any of them will work. They essentially work the same way. And so I want to show you very quickly a little bit about what that looks like. And I'm going to try to get to the right button. Yep, this is the right one. So here is me in Keynote. And I learned this by watching Alec Johnson. His live stream show is called Take One Tech, I believe. Tech Troublemaker, correct me if I got that wrong, but I think it's Take One Tech. It's his channel, and he did a stream, and I watched it, and I was like, I can even do that. So you just create a Keynote file, and or PowerPoint or Canva, and you literally make this center part a square. And the way I did it in Keynote is I went to the document panel, and where it says presentation type, slide size, I made it 500 by 500, which is a square. It could be 300 by 300, whatever, as long as it's a square. Then all I did was typed information in and sized it made it big. This is the simplest way you can make an icon. Just make a slide, make it square, put a color on it, and type some words. And then you save it as an image. So in Keynote, you can do File, Export to Image. Exact same thing works in PowerPoint, and we know Canva and Adobe Express. Save it as a PNG, an image file. P Papa Nancy Golf. Papa Nancy Golf file. And that's all you got to do. In my case, when I did that, I then came over here and I made that PNG file, and I literally just drug it on. So if I'm going to drag a different file on there, and I don't know what this one's going to say, but I just drug it and dropped it. Well, you got to be able to use a mouse, but I drug it and dropped it onto this little part down here, and it changes what the key says. That is customizing the buttons to work for you. If you are much more artistic and graphical, you can make it as fancy as you want. My proposition to you, however, is if you're new and you're learning the Stream Deck, do the simplest thing possible to get you started. And just simply putting words on the button is one of the simplest things you can do. And it gives you an opportunity to customize your buttons. There you go. Now, that is how I recommend you create your icons. Whatever program I would submit. If you have a Mac, you can use Keynote again. If you have a Windows computer and you're using Microsoft 365, you can use PowerPoint. If neither of those, you can use Canva. You can use the free version of Canva to do this, or you can use Adobe Express. You can use the free version of Adobe Express. And there are probably others. You could even use Google Slides, frankly, to do exactly the same thing. Just make a square. So if that is helpful to you, let me know in the chat by hitting a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up, and I'm not choking. I am choking. But keep it simple. At the same time that you're keeping it simple, make it work for you. I love it, Roy. Keep it simple, Stream Deck. Yes, keep it simple, Stream Deck. Don't get super fancy, because then you'll get wrapped up trying to be fancy instead of being productive. The third thing I want to talk about is, this is, again, level up your skill just a little bit. And that is learning to use the Stream Deck with other software. And I'm going to talk about two particularly to get your mind thinking, how can I use this with something that I'm already using? Actually, I'm going to say three. Something that I'm already using. One of those is if you're in the Apple environment and you create shortcuts, which you can create on your phone, you can create on your iPad, you can create on your computer. So if you're in the Apple ecosystem and you make shortcuts, then it is really nice to be able to put a shortcut on your Stream Deck so that when you're at your computer, rather than having to reach and get your phone or remember to open up the Stream Deck app and click on it to run that shortcut, you can run the shortcut directly from your Stream Deck. So that's one use case, using something that you've already done, but then making it work for you directly on your Stream Deck. Another example is, and I'm talking about being in the Apple world because that's where my environment is. You can adapt this. If you use something like Keyboard Maestro, and again, Take One Tech talks about this, it is such an in-depth application. But some of the things that you would automate using Keyboard Maestro, if you're already doing that work anyway, you can put those functions on your Stream Deck. I'm going to show you a couple and just have them quickly available. This is about efficiency, and two parts of that efficiency. One is the organization. What you're using is always in the same place the same way. Don't have to think about it. It's just there. The second is taking something that you've started to automate on your computer and adding one more layer of automation that doesn't take you a lot of time to do, and then you set it and forget it. A lot of these tools that I use, I've got automations in place. My automations have reduced even more because now I've attached them to my Stream Deck. So I use Text Expander, which you all have heard me talk about. I use Keyboard Maestro, which you're now hearing me talk about. I use Apple Shortcuts, which you're now hearing me talk about. I'm putting those automations on a button on the Stream Deck. So when I sit down at the computer, I'm not having to pick my phone up and do it. I'm not having to click around in a menu and do it. I'm just executing. So if I take a task that was 20 seconds and it's now 3 seconds, I've got time, those other seconds, to do some other task with. That's the efficiency that I'm talking about. And you may think 20 seconds is not a long time. It can be a really long time. So there you go. Let's go and look at an example of what I'm talking about here. So you're looking back at my Stream Deck. This button here is the icon for the Apple shortcuts, right? The second one. And I created a shortcut and I called it, this button here, I called it FJ message because I was testing earlier. And this is actually something I do regularly. I have quite a number of shortcuts of messages that I send out consistently, and I have them put so that I don't have to retype them. And so this one is, I created the shortcut, and then I just put the shortcut on the deck, on the Stream Deck. There is a plugin specifically for Apple shortcuts for the Stream Deck. So once you do that, you install that plugin, whatever shortcuts you have, you can attach them, and you just create the button, and then I title them, and then you say which folder it's in, because I've got multiple folders here. I've got church, I've got OmniFocus primarily, and I've got a few others that you can't see. And then whichever shortcut you want. What does that do? If I tap this button, one of our moderators just got a text message on their phone, and if you got that text message, put a yes in the chat. Let everybody know you got it. But I used this, and I didn't have to go pick my phone up because I don't keep my phone in my pocket all the time. I didn't have to go pick my phone up. I didn't have to click around on the computer. Another way you saw me do that, use the Stream Deck with an application, is this one here. It says Home Chores. What's different about this one? It is actually a Keyboard Maestro macro. These three, this blue one and these two, this is the icon for Keyboard Maestro. I already have those automations. This is my night shutdown. So when I'm ready to finish my computer up, and you may have heard me talk about this when I said when I'm ready to shut my computer down and it's a wrap, this Keyboard Maestro script shuts down everything and leaves the computer in the state that I want it left in. I had that already. So all I did is, instead of me using key commands or going through a menu, I just stuck it on a button. So now when I'm done, I just tap it, computer is going to be left in the state that I want. So that's an example of how you can integrate with a different application. Similarly, this is actually something here that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to try to get to the right one. I think it's this one. Let me go here, and I'm going to close this and open this. So this is my task manager, OmniFocus. If I tap the button that had MSG on it, because I changed the button on it, it's going to open up a perspective or a list of tasks in my task manager. That's an example. I already have the perspective created, but now when I want to get to it, instead of me going to the application, I just simply use a button on the Stream Deck. So working the Stream Deck with something that I already have in place. Questions. I would love to get your questions. If you have any, I want to answer them. And what you can do, if you have a question, you can put a Q colon in front of it, and I will be sure to do my best to answer it. And if you're getting value today, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Y'all, we're almost at 100 subscribers. We're at 93 subscribers. It will be great to get to that 100 mark within the next 2 weeks, which will be our 1 year of live streaming on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. So I would love to have you spread the word. I so much appreciate you all. Has nothing to do with the Stream Deck, but I really appreciate every one of you who come, watch the material, take something away that you can use to level up your productivity, and share your comments, your successes, your stories with the community. So our person said that yes, they got the text message. So there you go. Example, real world, nothing super fancy, but very efficient. Saves you from having to spend as many mouse clicks, as many keyboard commands, as much thinking about where is information, how do I get it out, or how do I get to that, or how do I get the computer to do something that I want it to do. It's just working for you. So that's working with other software. That is what I have. I'm going to challenge you to do 3 things. I love to give you homework, so this is your homework. Your first thing is get the Stream Deck. If you don't have one, get it. If you're not yet ready to commit to the about $150 or so, get the application from the Apple Store or the Google Play Store and get the free version. But get the Stream Deck. That's your first action. Just get it. Don't try to be a super duper. Keep it simple. Number 1, get your Stream Deck. Number 2, pick out just one way you want to use that Stream Deck. Just one. Not 50, not everything in the world you can think of. Just one. Maybe it's managing Zoom meetings. Maybe it is working with your task manager. Maybe it is helping you write and your writing workflow. Maybe it's something as simple as creating a set of file folders that you use when you start a new project. But figure out one way that you want to test out and try using the Stream Deck. And the last one is practice using it. You've done all that work. You've spent the 20 to 30 minutes. Then practice using it. Actually use it, because it will become a habit. It will become a habit very quickly for you. Very, very quickly. And let me know by commenting in the comments how this has helped you, how it has been something that has improved your productivity in whatever it is that you do. Whether you're working on a proposal, great. If you are a live streamer or video creator or a nonprofit executive, I use it, for example, to help me process hundreds of pages of PDFs for a board that I sit on, and I get these board packets that are hundreds of pages long. I use my Stream Deck to mark the pages so that I know exactly where I'm going to go and I don't have to manually mark those pages up. So lots of ways to use it. If you have any questions, any last minute comments, I would love to hear from you and read them. And if you don't, it's okay. I have enjoyed being with you all tonight. It has been my honor to share this material with you. And next month we get to start something new. There will be a video link to the playlist on the Stream Deck right here at the end of this once it's processed. And I'll see you all next week. Good night, everybody.